goodness that's supposed to come. We're now at a point where it seems to be nothing but hard work. The church in Galatia is starting to have to wrestle with issues. And there are factions developing. And there are divisions occurring because some of them believe they need to be Jewish in order to be Christian, and others think, well, maybe not, but we're not sure. And Paul is writing this letter to them, again, his first letter, to tell them that the answer to that question is no. That in Judaism there were a lot of rules and regulations, a lot of laws, and that they had a purpose. God intended them for his children when they were young children, similar to being in a playpen, kept them out of trouble. But he says now that Christ has come, the intention is freedom. You've been let out of the playpen. You do not need the nursemaid to take care of you anymore. You need to do the hard work of growing up. But they're not seeing the fruit of that yet. They are only seeing that it is hard work. So now at the end of his letter, Paul says to them, don't quit. Hang in there. Stick with it. And he gets that idea from today's gospel, where we are told that Jesus set his sights on Jerusalem, and he was not going to be sidetracked by people who didn't accept him or weren't ready for him. People who were offended by the direction he was going in. And he wasn't even going to take time out to defend himself against them. Call down fire and destroy them? No. No, that just detracts us from what we're about. We need to get to Jerusalem. There's no time for even vengeance. There's no time to even engage the negativity. Keep moving forward and bringing people along with him. Come, follow me. But what do we find? We find examples of people who say, okay, but, I have other things to do. I have to attend to this. I have to attend to that. And Jesus' message is, no, keep your focus. Keep your focus. There are going to be things that get in the way. There are going to be obstacles. It's going to get difficult. Weeds are going to come up. And the sun is going to be blazing hot, and it won't rain for a while, but you can't give up the job. Stick with it. Now, he gives several examples. I'll just take one, because it seems to be the one that's the most distressing. Let the dead bury the dead. Doesn't that sound awful? I mean, really? Jesus isn't going to give us time out to even bury our own father? And what does he mean, let the dead bury the dead? Someone's dead father can't bury themselves. Well, here again, we cannot look at the Gospels literally. Not as literal story. But what is the Gospel writer, what is Luke trying to tell us is the message? What is the good news that Jesus is proclaiming in these events? Let the dead bury the dead. Let the past take care of itself. Because honestly, for many of us, the past is what keeps us from following Jesus forward. Wait a minute, there are things that have died. I have to go take care of them. I have to go attend to these things that are no longer there in my life. I have to have time to grieve. I have to spend time with that. And Jesus says, no, you don't. No, you don't. The past had its day. It's dead. Follow me. But I'm in the middle of planting a field. I have to prepare for this. Jesus says, no, don't worry about the future. Follow me. I'll take you where the future is that you're supposed to be at. But these people aren't accepting me. Let me stop and call down fire. Jesus says, no. Keep your eyes focused on where I am asking you to go and follow me. That's the message of the gospel. And that's the message that Paul is trying to give to that little struggling church in Galatia. He says, don't give up. Keep your focus. Follow Jesus' example. Follow Jesus' teaching. Don't get sidetracked by all these other issues. He said, you used to be there. You used to live in a world of rules and regulations that divided this from that and said what is in and what is out, what is good, what is bad. And look what it did for you. And he certainly see happening in churches, and we even see happening in our world. Now, the first few deal with sexual relations, and maybe we say, okay, we're not there this morning. But some of them we are. Sorcery? Well, some people are trying to put hexes on other people. Some people are cursing others to control them. And many people are looking to horoscopes, or palm readers, or soothsayers to help them know what the future is going to be and give them security in a time of uncertainty. And Paul says, not for Christians. You're following Jesus. You have an assurance about your future. You don't need to go to these things. But when you start indulging the flesh, when you start going back to the old way, when you're not committed to following Jesus, then you start turning to these things for security for your future. And then what else do you see? Anger, jealousy, quarreling, dissensions, factions. Who's in this group? Who's in that group? What club do you belong to? Are you with the people who are siding with this politician or that one? Or are you with this group in the church or that group in the church? Factions. Envy. The green-eyed monster. Well, look at what's happening over there at that church. Well, look at so-and-so's house and their yard. See what they've got? See what they're doing? This is what he says happens. And if we're honest, we know it is what happens. When we take our eyes off the goal of following Jesus, when we stop being committed to that as our lifestyle, this is the result. But Paul says, don't quit, stick with it, because fruit will come from that garden. Keep pulling up those weeds. Keep your focus, because you will bear fruit. Just like those tomato plants will eventually get tomatoes. The sunflowers will eventually bloom. It might be September, but you will get some flowers and some fruit. And he says, here's the fruit that you're going to start to see. Love, joy, peace, patience, generosity, faithfulness. He said there are no laws about these things. You can't regulate them. You can't work at keeping these laws. This is fruit. This is what just happens within you. This is the kind of person, this is the kind of community, this is the kind of world, he says, that results from tending to this garden. But that fruit can only come if we keep our focus on Jesus. And we do not make any excuses. Not about securing the future or redeeming or fixing the past or dealing with issues that are beyond our control, but by putting our whole faith and trust that Jesus knows the way. There's an old hymn that says, Jesus knows the way through the wilderness. All I have to do is follow. And that's the message. When we put our whole faith and trust in him, as our baptismal vows say, and we are committed to following him, that's when we are truly free of any laws, of any rules, of any outside definitions. And when we begin to produce the fruit that is the kind of life that, again, quite honestly, we all really want for ourselves, for our community, and for the whole world.